Thank you. Thank you. I know. Well, me too. Me too, man. Good morning. My name is Cal Addams, and my pronouns are he and him. I'm a member of this fellowship, the secretary of the Board of Trustees, and your service leader this morning. This UU Fellowship of the Emerald Coast is a religious community united by UU principles and committed to service, spiritual growth, and caring fellowship. If you're visiting today, you will find more information about all of us on the back of your order of service or on our website. Please fill out a visitor card at the table by the front door so we can connect with you and send you information about upcoming events. You've discovered a community of friendly and fallible humans who welcome you here. All of us were visitors once. We found friends and opportunities for spiritual growth and justice work in this Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. We treasure the warmth and empowerment created here and welcome newcomers to help us build the community we want to see in the world. We gather on the unceded lands of the Muskogee Nation of Florida and of Oklahoma and acknowledge the pain of their forced removal from these lands that can still be felt today. We are grateful for the use of this land today and stand in solidarity with the indigenous people of Turtle Island, also known as the United States. Some announcements before the service. The fellowship is still in need of a few committee chairs. So if you are interested in chairing the caring committee or the communications committee, those are the two, right? That we're, okay. Just double checking myself here. Please see Deborah Baker Ryan, raise your hand, or Melissa Wynn, or you can email them as well. Their emails are on our website. On September 13th, Project Mailstorm will be having an event from 6 to 8 here at the UU to write letters to legislators. This has been a really fun activity in the past where you can use your creativity however you like. It is not an official UU activity, but it is happening here and all are welcome. For those of you who don't know, we have a Discord server with the Dogs vs. Cat donation drive. You can see the list of items that are needed posted in under the Social Justice Board, not in the donation alley. It has just been moved. And this is to benefit Healing Paws for Warriors, which is a wonderful organization in our local community that has been doing really good work for like 13 years now, something like that. Working with veterans, getting service animals to them, and just generally being really wonderful people. So we want to do everything that we can. So you, are we still doing the vote for cats versus dogs? Okay, all right, so. Mm-hmm. There you go. Wonderful. After the service, we have a 15-minute period for refreshments and conversation, followed by a second hour, which is kind of like centers for adults. We get to choose a small group discussion that interests you and go and sit and discuss and participate. Today, we have the speaker circle up here in front with myself, and then also we have a CUPS meeting with Melissa Wynn in the library, the double doors in the back right of the room. So definitely check out one of those. Second hour groups end at 12:15 and they are open to everyone. On the back of your order of service, you'll notice that there's a handy snack schedule, which is listed. Who's bringing food every week? Right now, we are on the 5th Sunday of the month, and there isn't a listing for the 5th Sunday of the month, so we have decided that the men folk were the ones who are going to bring food today. So please, thank you for those who did bring food today. And just a quick reminder that the next week is the first Sunday of the month, and that means that those with the last names A through F will be responsible for bringing a snack next week, so please do. The prelude prepares us for the service.
Dona nobis pacem pacem, dona nobis pacem.
Dona nobis pacem, dona nobis pacem, dona
Soft spot for that one. We did it in middle school choir. Alex will light the chalice for us this morning. Come on up, Alex. And then Josh Moore is going to come up and say our chalice lighting for us.
As we light this chalice now, I want you to remember that this chalice is the same chalice that's lit all over the place this morning, on Sunday, throughout all these different Unitarian Universalist congregations, for the same reason, to light our way and to show others that there is a light too, that we have found here. May this light burn within you now and charge you with a compassion and a desire to change the world for the better.
Thank you, Josh. Please stand in body or in spirit to join us in singing hymn number 1051 in your teal hymnal, We Are.
For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. Oh, for each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. Oh, for each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings, and we are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage, fathers of time, daughters of dust, and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy, brothers of love, lovers of life, and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth, keepers of faith, makers of peace, and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings, and we are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage, fathers of time, mercy, brothers of love, lovers of life, and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings, and we are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are one. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's.
At the end. All right. All children are invited to come forward for the time for all ages with Joshua Moore, our Director of Religious Exploration. Just kidding. I'm gonna do it. So what is Labor Day? Does anybody know? Anything special about it? Okay, it celebrates labor. That's one aspect of Labor Day. Okay.
Celebrating a bunch of different jobs, perhaps?
I believe it's generally more targeted to jobs most people don't want, such as blue-collar jobs.
Okay. All right, so we're getting a little bit warmer here. You can go ahead and go to the next slide. So Labor Day is a day celebrated to recognize and appreciate workers. Definitely, definitely. So make sure tomorrow, on Labor Day, you go and you tell a worker that you appreciate them, especially somebody that doesn't hear it very often. Go ahead to the next slide. So the day reminds us the value of the importance of workers in building a society that protects each other at work. The history of Labor Day comes from people standing up for each other and saying, hey, you shouldn't treat us that way. Next slide. So Labor Day began as a form of worker struggles to gain fair rights and working conditions. Labor protests are how we got the 40-hour week and weekends, to name a few things, because that didn't used to be a thing. Like, we live in a world where we just, most of us, expect to have a couple of days off every week. That didn't used to be a thing. Some people work 6 and 7 hours, 14, 16 hours a day, and that was normal. Go ahead to the next slide. Child labor used to be very common in the 1800s. Anybody ever seen the movie Newsies? Right? Us musical, nerds here. Little baby Christian Bale. Right? So that's a movie about a strike that children did in the late 1800s because, yeah, in 1899, they just stopped working. And they got pushed back and they got beat up and they got bullied, but they won. They held out and they won. And the companies like that they had to go and buy the newspapers from each morning before they sold them, they didn't used to buy them back when they didn't sell them. And so they would just have to eat that cost. And these very young people made it so that this big corporation, you know, the big guys in town, had to capitulate. And they had to say, okay, we'll buy back your newspapers, just come back and sell them for us because we're losing money. Which was really cool. All right, next slide. So hard work, you know, is something that the human people are just built to enjoy. We like work. We like to feel fulfilled in what we do. And hard work means different things. Sometimes it means sitting at a computer for 20 hours straight until you get that speech just right. And sometimes it means digging a really big hole. So it just really depends on what your focus is, what needs to be done, and you know, your general situation. But hard work is valuable and it's good. And not all work that is hard is paid labor, right? We honor Labor Day today to remind people to rest, because we worked hard for all of the labor protections that we have still, and that it's important to fill up your cup, to take some time to just rest so that we can go out and do it again. So, what are some important jobs that you can think of that people get paid to do?
Hospitals and hospitals, firehouse, and policemen.
Janitors. And plumbers. And electricians.
Construction work.
Yeah, absolutely. What about the guys that cut lawns? Like, that is such hard work out in the sun, especially here in Florida. So think about now, what are some really important jobs that people don't get paid for?
Volunteering work. Animal shelters and, you know, big like trash cleanup groups.
Just living, to be honest. I think everyone can agree with that. Just living is difficult already, and you don't really get paid to live.
Keeping yourself taken care of. It's a job, right?
Parenting.
Yes. Being a mom or a dad. Parenting. That is one of the biggest unpaid labors. So make sure everybody says thank you to your parents. or speaking, or cleaning, or doing, you know, making sure that we have food out. Here at the fellowship, lots of people do a lot of work to make sure that we have a really good Sunday every Sunday. And it's we don't get paid, but it's cool. We love it here. Like, we do this because we love this place. So the last thing that I'm going to say, and we talked about it really quick, is Labor Day came from people standing up and saying, we deserve better. And don't be afraid to do that. That is a very important part of our Unitarian Universalist tradition is standing up and saying, they deserve better, we deserve better. Thank you. Go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. The sharing of joys and concerns is a tradition in our fellowship. You are welcome to come up, drop a pebble into the water silently, or while speaking a few words into the microphone. This practice shares our joys and helps support each other in sorrows. Please remember to tell only about others with their permission, and please keep it brief. The stream will be muted for privacy during this time. So now I'm going to read you just a little passage that I found, and then we'll take a few moments to just let go of our body stress and meditate. We enter this sanctuary for kindness and comfort. May rough, worn hands and aching backs be healed. We enter the sanctuary of hope for equality. May those who labor to survive live to know justice. Shoulders a little bit, get them loose. Wiggle your arms, wiggle your fingers. Knock your knees together if you want. Just let go of the stiffness. Find any stiffness in your body. Just kind of check in with yourself. Starting from the top and going through your face. Check out your neck, how that's feeling. Your shoulders, are they back as far as they should be? Shrimp check. What about your belly? Do you have any stress or tightness there? Down to your hips. Traveling down through your legs. Through to the soles of your feet. And wiggle everything out through your toes. Vigorously. Now, yes. Excellent. Thank you very much. After our song of dedication, greeters will take up the offering. Our fellowship is supported by our pledges and donations. If you are paying your pledge with a check today, please make a note in the memo line. If you are paying with cash, please ask one of the greeters coming around for an envelope or grab one from the table in the back by the front door. Today we are launching a Share the Plate offering with a new fund. And this will be our Share the Plate recipient on fifth Sundays going forward. We're calling it the Fund for Emerging Needs. This fund will provide temporary and confidential financial assistance for persons in our congregation who are struggling to keep up with the cost of living, medical bills, or other overwhelming and expensive circumstances. The Reverend, in consultation with the Caring Committee, determines where and how monies will be funded and will be allocated. Please consider extending generosity to those among us as we strengthen and extend our capacity to be a caring community.
My roots go down, down to the earth. My roots go down, down to the earth. My roots go down, down to the earth. My roots go down. My roots go down, down to the earth. My roots go down, down to the earth. My roots go down, down to the earth. My roots go down. I am a wildflower. My roots go down. I am a willow swaying through the storm. I am a willow swaying through the storm. I am a willow swaying through the storm. My roots go down. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down. I am a mountain reaching for the sun. I am a mountain reaching for the sun. I am a mountain reaching for the sun. My roots go down. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go
Today, we're going to listen to a little snippet from the GA Sunday, the General Assembly, Sunday service sermon, and then I'll give you a quick rundown of my experience going to my very first General Assembly as a UU this year. So before that, please do enjoy these words by the Reverend Dr. Nicole Kirk. She is a Schulman Chair of UU History at Medville Lombard Theology School and Program Minister at the All Souls Unitarian Church in Tulsa.
We are the ancestors. We are our grandparents' prayers, and we are our grandparents' dreams. We are the breath of our ancestors, and we carry the spark of the divine within us. We carry the weight of unfinished promises and unrealized dreams. We are the ancestors of tomorrow. And what kind of ancestors will we choose to be? We gather in this moment of profound challenge when many of us feel worn out, frightened, angry, fragmented, heartbroken. What we hold dear, freedom, justice, diversity, pluralism, equity, inclusion, reason, peace, and love are facing alarming attacks. As individuals, as communities, as a nation, the weight of uncertainty and the erosion of freedom weighs heavily. And we carry other burdens with us. Family strife, a layoff, a breakup, a bad diagnosis, a denial or erasure of who we are, friendships broken, loss and separation. And in this moment, volatile markets, a trade war, controversy over citizenship, foreign interventions, businesses closing, economic turmoil, and global uncertainty. And we too face a rigid orthodoxy, and it's called white Christian nationalism. An orthodoxy that seeks to establish what our founders rejected, a theocracy that would silence the very freedom they fought to protect and couldn't even fully imagine the impact of what they were saying. That foundation, the foundation what this nation was started from, and this religious tradition, it's under attack. They're trying to silence us. We live in the times that Quaker activist Parker Palmer calls the tragic gap, the space where between the hard realities around us and what we know is possible. We can imagine what Martin Luther King Jr. called the beloved community. We can envision what writer James Baldwin demanded, a more humane, connected, and just world. Our ancestors had dreams, and so do we. Historian Barbara Ransby instructs us that change is possible. Change is possible, and transformation begins in our individual and collective imaginations, where we look out where we can already see and do the impossible, imagine something we have not yet seen. She tells us, Barbara Ransby tells us, that revolution begins with a dream. And at the end, we must fight for it. We know the possibilities exist because we have experienced them in moments of profound connection and acts of justice that bends the arc towards love, although right now it feels like someone's trying to pull it the other way. In communities that held space for the full humanity of every person. And yet we also know the gaps. We know the gaps in our history and ourselves. As my beloved colleague Abi Jamamachi reminds us, we practice an aspirational faith that frequently, if not routinely, has not lived up to the fullness of what it preaches. I think I can get through this. This year has taught me something profound about the relationship between dreams and loss, between what we inherit and what we leave behind. 6 months ago, my husband, Frederick, died after 13 months of living with terminal cancer. Now, we had time before he died, time to speak of the past, time to reckon with the regrets and mistakes, time to recall the shared joy, time to dream of a future that would not include his physical presence. But we would continue to be shaped by his love and dreams. We dreamt that together. He knew about this moment, by the way. I have been reflecting what it means to be alive in this moment, to survive the loss of a partner, to be more than 25 years in my Unitarian Universalist service as a minister, 13 years at Meadville Lombard Theological School, and more recently, having the opportunity to serve my local congregation, All Souls Unitarian in Tulsa. I've been thinking about how to reckon with this moment in my life, and also what's happening to us in this nation, and how Unitarian Universalism is caught there in between. How do we live into this moment when there is disappointment and broken dreams? How do we be a part of this movement that's more than just surviving as Unitarian Universalists? In my conversation with Frederick, I learned that grief and hope are not opposites. They are partners in the sacred work of remembering and imagining. When we grieve because we have loved. When we dream because we have hope for the future. What does it mean to be the people who inherit our ancestors' legacies, both the legacies we know of and the legacies that have been silenced? What does it mean that they were both flawed and full of promise? And how do we carry these legacies forward when we ourselves are flawed and full of promise? Our bicentennial for one part of our tradition, Unitarianism, calls us to reflect on the past, all of it. The celebrations, the leadership, the breakthroughs, and the mistakes, the failures, the places where the injustice prevailed. We must never forget where we have failed. We must never forget so that we can hold space to honor the grief, the loss, the missed opportunities, and to do something about it. We also hold tight our inheritance of this life-giving, saving, loving faith tradition. And even as we reflect on the mistakes, we still, this is the both and, my friends, we must still honor the leadership, the creativity, the adaptability, the imaginations, the possibilities of so many who came before us. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. Let me know you're here. Let me know you're here. Yeah. 200 years from now, let alone 50 years from now at General Assembly, perhaps at Baltimore or the moon, or wherever it may be, what will they say about how we showed up in this moment? because we will be the ancestors I hope they sing of. The American Revolution did not fully liberate all Americans, but it did create the possibility of a future liberation movements. The Unitarian Revolution did not create a perfect faith, but it created the possibility of a faith that could evolve towards greater inclusion theologically, economically, socially, bodily. Freedom isn't the absence of restraint, it is the presence of love. It's the courage. It's the courage to remain open-hearted even after the loss, even after the brokenness, even after the shattered dreams. It's the willingness to keep on dreaming even when we have lost what seems like our hopes. When we gather like this, bearing witness to life's fragility, and it is fragile, life's fragility and magnificence. Freedom is never finished. We will be the ancestors that are going to be spoken of. Will we then be the ancestors who refuse to let democracy die on our watch? Will we be the ancestors who insisted that no single religion dictates the truth? The work of liberation is never done, but each generation must take us, and your health and your loved ones' well-being is at risk. Unitarian Universalism must be both a rallying cry and a refuge. We offer sanctuary for the soul and summons to live our values of love and justice out in the world. But we know it. In order to do this, we have to have depth. We have to have the Spirit. We have to have our humanness in connection with one another. We are a faith that doesn't just believe in justice or talk about justice. We offer a moral framework and organized spirituality. We have a courageous history, a history of engagement that's so courageous. And we must not neglect to remember to offer space for spiritual healing and growth. And if you don't have that in your community right now, and you recognize that, then you are part of what is going to be the people gathering to make that happen. We need these spiritual roots, or however you translate that word, those spiritual roots through our music, our poetry, our words, our meditations, our prayers, sermons, and songs that feed us. Feed our sparks of the divine, feed the Spirit in our communities so that we can not only transform ourselves, but then go out and transform the world. We need that fuel, yes, that fuel of healing, that fuel for growth. We need this because bell hooks reminds us that we need each other when she told us, rarely, if ever, are any of us healed in isolation. None of us do this alone. Looking back at what happened 200 years ago when Jedediah Morris tried to brand the liberals as heretics and isolate them, something remarkable happened. Instead of scattering in fear like leaves before the storm, they planted seeds that would grow into strong sequoias. They did not retreat, they advanced, and they consolidated their resistance. They organized. Channing's Baltimore sermon became their battle cry. Speak your truth boldly, prove all things, and hold fast that which is good. They created periodicals to carry their new theology across the land. They established clubs where like-minded individuals could meet and create caring communities. They sent ministers at large into the city streets to serve the forgotten and the forsaken. They formed the Berry Street Conference, creating sanctuary for souls under siege. They did not wait for permission. they did not wait for permission. They decided they could not wait any longer, and they took it upon themselves to create the American Unitarian Association. And when they accomplished this, they went from defense to offense, reaction to creation. This pattern is written in our spiritual DNA. Feel it, know it, act on it, live out of it. When they tried to, the Orthodox, when they tried to silence our ancestors, they organized. When they tried to isolate us, they built bridges. When they attack your legitimacy, nurture your institutions that recognize your infinite worth. Communities where you can bring your entire beautiful self. The same fire that burned in their hearts burns in ours today. They are all around us. We called them in this room this morning and online. The same courage that moved them to action calls to us now. We are not here by accident. We are the living legacy of those who refuse to be silent, refuse to be diminished, refuse to surrender their liberation and the liberation of others. The future is calling us now. We are the hope of the ancestors, the ones who came to Baltimore more than 200 years ago, the ones before them, the ones who came after, so many who have been there and helped us expand and understand how big our love is, how grand and large our freedom is. In this moment, friends, don't be afraid. Don't stop organizing. Don't stop dreaming. Don't stop loving. Friends, this faith matters. Your congregations, your communities matter. Your dreams matter. And the things we choose to do and say in the months and years ahead matter.
Amen. Oh, get me all fired up. So I really love that sermon, and you know, the video keeps on going. You know, they sing. They do a lot of singing at General Assembly. It's wonderful. But we wanted to show you that little bit. Our theme this year at General Assembly was meeting the moment. How appropriate. I attended General Assembly this year virtually. I didn't get to go in person. And I'm kind of glad that I didn't get to, because I cried a lot, like big ugly tears. It was good tears, generally speaking, but that it saved me that, you know, that experience being surrounded by other people. But, you know, I cried because I saw people being the change that I wanted to see in the world. People living it. And that just gets to me. That's a thing that gets to me pretty frequently. So some of the things that I found notable this year at GA, I'll try and be brief. I was absolutely delighted that every single speaker was compelled to give a physical description of themselves, and many practiced the language of fat liberation. Their names, pronouns, and identities that they can currently hold all together and that are relevant to the conversation that they were about to have with the audience. I'll demonstrate that now just to kind of show you what that's like. So I am a fat European American trans man with short, curly, brown and gray hair that really needs a trim, and some patchy facial hair. I'm wearing brown and aqua glasses, and a green shirt with a music note and a bird and a rainbow around it. And I just thought that that was a really cool thing that they did. And since we stream here this service, I thought that I would get into the habit of doing that, and I encourage you to do the same when you're up here talking. They also had ASL interpreters who, as you can see, were rock stars. Every last one of them. They sometimes stole the show. It was really good. But accessibility was a huge focus this year. I was able to attend sessions where the speaker was both a UU minister and a drag queen, and did not in any way have to hide his identity from the world that each inhabited. It was a bright and beautiful moment for me. I got to listen to Omar Barghouti, the founder of the BDS movement. That means Boycott, Divest, and Sanction, which is 22 years old, by the way, for anybody that's keeping track. I got to hear him speak about apartheid-free communities and how we might start a chapter in our own communities. So if you're interested in that, please see me later. I listened to a session about innovating worship in the 21st century with Reverend John T. Cresswell. And he gave this lecture even though his wife had only passed the week prior. He gave a sermon right there in the session. It was really touching and beautiful. And he spoke about feeling the music in our souls and in our bodies, and about doing wild things like doing away completely with the order of service, just to keep everybody on their toes, and focused on eyes up here, and not looking down at a piece of paper. A lot of really just innovative, small things like that. And I'm not suggesting that we do that here, but I just really wanted to point out that boldness that he displayed in being ready to just go out on a limb and say, hey, let's try this. We'll see if it works. I was blessed to be able to listen to Imara Jones, who has won a Peabody and Emmy Award for her work. She's the creator of Trans-Lash Media and is an expert in the intersection of anti-trans politics, religion, race, and anti-authoritarianism. God, your language is so difficult for me. You best believe that I cried my little trans heart out during that one. I very sadly cannot show you the Ware lecture outside of GA, but I can direct you to her body of work at translashmedia.org. Highly suggest that you go and listen to their movies, podcasts, zines, articles, all kinds of stuff. Really good stuff. We talked about how to best help our immigrant neighbors and protect them where we can. And I have some great resources for you if you are interested in learning more about that. And then it was Juneteenth when we were there. So we had a rousing Juneteenth session from the UU of Tallahassee. And I don't have time to tell you everything that I wanted to tell you about that. I'm gonna respect your time. But it was a reminder of what our UU faith tradition has taught us about liberation and responsibility, and that it belongs to us to keep that work going. And then I think I'll save the rest of what I had to say for the speaker circle, just so that we can keep it moving. Please stand in body or in spirit for our final hymn, I've Got Peace Like a River, number 100 in your gray hymnals.
Hi everybody, my name is Mark David Buckles and I'm excited to share one of my favorite hymns with you that you may already know. It's Peace Like a River. And one of the things that I love about this song, this hymn, is that it's not all happy. It acknowledges the many things that we're feeling and that we can have complicated feelings. We can hold pain and joy at the same time, and that's okay, and even that can be worth celebrating, that we feel those things. So I love that we sing about having peace like a river and pain like an arrow and strength like a mountain. And in the end, we return to this idea of peace, that we always have the ability to tune back into that peace like a river in our souls. And when I think of a river, I think of the fact that no matter what, it just keeps going. I hope you'll sing Peace Like a River with me. If you don't know it, I think you'll pick it up really quickly. It goes like this. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got pain like an arrow. I've got pain like an arrow. I've got pain like an arrow. I've got pain like an arrow in my soul. I've got pain like an arrow. I've got pain like an arrow. I've got pain like an arrow in my soul. I've got tears like the raindrops. I've got tears like the raindrops. I've got tears like the raindrops. I've got tears like the raindrops in my soul. I've got tears like the raindrops. I've got tears like the raindrops. I've got tears like the raindrops in my soul. I've got strength like the mountain. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain in my soul. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain in my soul. I've got.
All right, thank you. That's a good one, but you forget how long it is. Our lives shall not be sweated from birth until life closes. Hearts starve as well as bodies. Give us bread and give us roses. Small art and love and beauty, their drudging spirits knew. Yes, it is bread we fight for, but we fight for roses too. That was James Oppenheim in 1911. We normally stay seated for the postlude, but I'm going to hit this chime and let the postlude sing, and y'all feel free to get up and start mingling and talking and chatting while it plays. Thank you for coming, and please stay for second hour today. Reminder that the speaker circle is up front here with me, and Cups is in the library with Melissa.